Based on a true story, when two Formula One drivers, James Hunt and Niki Lauda, don't see eye to eye on and off the track, they risk everything in their lives to become champions and best one another. This is Rush.
The closer you are to death, the more alive you feel.
You're James, aren't you?
Yes. Who's that?
It's Niki Lauda. He's just been signed by Ferrari.
He's nobody.
Look at the way he's driving, like an old man.
Right now, with zero incentive, why would I drive fast?
Because I'm asking you to.
This is an incredible battle between these two great drivers.
Next time, I'll have you.
No chance. You're just a party guy. That's why everybody likes you.
Yes, I know, I'm terrible.
No, you're not terrible. You're just who you are at this point in your life.
To be a champion, it takes more than just being quick. You have to really believe it.
I've been waiting for this my whole life.
I can beat this guy, trust me.
He's consistent, dependable. Will he put his life on the line the day that really matters?
Welcome to the racing grudge match of the decade.
World champion Niki Lauda, trapped in a searing inferno of 800 plus degrees.
Talk to me, James.
Don't go to men who are willing to kill themselves driving in circles looking for normality.
And what did your wife say when she saw your face?
She said, you don't need a face to drive, you just need the right foot.
I feel responsible for what happened.
Watching you win those races, while I was fighting for my life, you were equally responsible for getting me back in the car.
42 days after his near-fatal accident, Niki Lauda will race here today.
More powerful than the fear of death is the will to win.
Hi, welcome to the Budget Review. As always, I'm your host Kenny, and today I'm joined by just Steve, all alone.
Again.
Last week we got to see Rush. Sorry for this late review. We've been busy and had things to do, and he is blaming me, even though it's not just my fault. Rush is a biographical action movie about the rivalry between Niki Lauda and James Hunt from the Formula One racing days of the late 1970s. It's directed by Ron Howard. It's a relatively long movie, at 2 hours long, but it's very compelling. You don't feel like it's that long. It mixes the action and the story behind them very well. So, what do you have to say about the story behind it?
I really enjoyed it. Before I saw the trailer, I wasn't a Formula One fan. I'm not really that much of a racing fan in general. So I knew it was based on a true story, so I didn't want to read about the race or anything. I wanted to go in there with an open mind and see who's going to win. He tried to spoil it for me, but he effed it up. But I enjoyed the performances. You really got the feel of how Niki Lauda and James Hunt had different personalities. Where James Hunt was like the pretty boy kind of, the attention, playboy kind of type of guy. Playboy. And Niki Lauda was more serious, took everything. He treated it like it was an actual job, and he thought a champion will do no matter what to win. And I loved the interactions between them during the film.
Yeah. Especially later on, you get the feeling that they don't like each other and they clash, but they have so much respect for each other's abilities. And as far as the characters go, you have Chris Hemsworth, who is relatively well known in North America. Thor. And he plays James Hunt. He's very good in it. You can really tell that he cared about the role, and he did a very good job playing that role. Then you have Daniel Brühl, who is a relatively unknown actor. He's played very few roles in North America. I know he was in Inglourious Basterds for a short time. I can't remember what else he was in, but he never really had a star role in North America. And what do you think of those casting choices?
I was very happy when I saw the film. I was very happy with Chris Hemsworth because I feel like he has to kind of branch off away from the Thor character, not get typecasted. Like,
he can't get
that's cool.
typecasted just an acting hero.
Yeah,
show
he had to
play
show the
more.
range of a different. He could do something else, and that's what he was definitely what I was looking forward to. Because the trailers, you see that, at least to me, because like I said, I didn't look at the backstory. It seemed like the movie was gonna be more about him.
Yeah.
But when I went into the movie, it was, I would say, maybe even more like 60-40 Niki Lauda story.
And especially with the poster, it has his face on it. It doesn't have Niki Lauda's face on it.
It grabs the attention of the fans. And it's Daniel Brühl.
Yes.
I was very surprised by him. I enjoyed how he portrayed Niki Lauda. And I just felt that he really did care for his job and racing. He did no matter what to win. And I say right now, I will not be surprised if he gets nominated for an Academy Award.
I wouldn't be surprised either about this. And it's directed by Ron Howard, and everyone knows Ron Howard has a lot of success directing. He's won many awards. He's very well respected, very beloved in the industry.
This also feels like a Ron Howard movie. His stamp is over this movie because recently he's like I think he did The Dilemma. Recently he's been pretty bad, but he went back to like the Apollo 13 like old classics.
He really knows how to grab your attention and hold it throughout the entire movie.
And not once I felt bored.
And you really feel for the characters. You can understand what their motives are, and you can tell that they have some similarities because neither of them really had a family. They both left their families for different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And what did you think of Ron Howard's directing in this?
I enjoyed everything, and especially from the writing standpoint. I love the way it looked. You got like a 70s type feel from it.
Yeah, they had to really make you feel it because it had to really grab that era and like because Formula One was big back then. You had to really pull everyone into that.
You know, I was a fan of how everyone dressed in the wardrobe. I don't know.
And just from that, it's one of the interesting about the writing is when the guy who wrote it, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he didn't write it knowing that this was going to be a big budget movie. He expected it to be a small budget, so it was written where they didn't need racing scenes. So the racing scenes really matter in this.
Yeah, no, they do.
He does a good job making it not about the racing. It's meant to be a race between the two characters racing the championship, not them literally racing.
Yeah, and also in this movie they did very well portraying, I guess this goes back to Ron Howard directing, of how like risky and how serious this racing in Formula One could be. Like, you could die. This is and they take no time to introduce that until like even like the first race. They get
early on. They did have a crash with that. Like right at the beginning, there is a crash in Formula 3 that they cover. But that's another thing is that I thought it was going to be basically about Niki Lauda's crash, but it wasn't about his crash. It was about them fighting for it and how it led to his crash and how it came down to that last race between them. So I think that we've covered just about everything that really needs to be said without spoiling everything for them.
Yeah.
So I have some final thoughts and your final rating.
I give this 4.25 out of 5. Even if you're not a Formula 1 fan, still go see this movie. It was very enjoyable, and it got me hooked on.
I'm going to give this a 4.2. He only picked 4.25 to 1-up me.
Oh, it was going to be in the 4.
Up.
It was going to be in the 4s. I know that. I just didn't know what to do.
0.05 up me. And I have to agree. You don't have to like racing at all to enjoy this movie. In fact, if you go into it not knowing how racing works, you're going to learn a little bit about it, and you're going to enjoy learning about it. And it's just a very, very well done movie, and I can't recommend it enough. It's going to be nominated for some awards.